Hey, good evening, YouTube. Thanks for clicking on my video. This is Josh, or FJ55 Iron Pig. Doing a video on something I've been thinking about for the last, ever since I was a little kid, but really thinking about it for the last few weeks. And that's possibly, I might do this, making my own knife. I'm going to start with a fixed blade, of course, because that's a whole lot easier, I think. And I'm sure it's going to kick my butt a little bit. But basically, I made some drawings in my Moleskine book, and I'll show you in just a minute. But let me grab the metal. I already have the metal. I'm actually going to take it to a scrapyard I have here and have them test it, see what type of metal it is with that little burner thing they got. Oh yeah, also when I show off that sticker right there, that's an original STP sticker. Not Stone Temple Pilots. The Racer's Edge. The oil treatment. STP. That's some old NASCAR type stuff. That's when I first remember it, back in the early 80s, late 70s. Dating myself a little bit. Alright, so I've got two pieces of metal. They're the same type of steel. They're already hardened, so I'm going to have to anneal them. Yeah, as you can tell, it's still magnetic there. Annealing is when you heat it to where it's like a cherry red. Basically, it de-aligns all the molecules, if I remember correctly, and makes it so it's no longer magnetized. That's also at its softest point while still remaining solid and not losing its shape. Got a round one, pretty good size. But this is the one I'm going to be working with. So, right there, piece of flat bar. Very thick and very hard right now. So let's take a look at some of the ideas I have. I think I've already got it narrowed down to the one I'm actually going to do. See if we can focus here. What I did is I traced it out in my notebook here, lengthwise. Got width, length, diameter, all the dimensions I need for just my general information on it. I'll show you this last, an idea I have. I've been looking at a lot of videos on how to make your own knives. A really good one is Gavko. He makes some cool stuff. Here's a crappy drawing of a karambit. I didn't trace anything, it was all freehand. I am not an artist, as you can tell there. And wasn't too impressed with that. Then I got kind of like a Sebenza style blade, kind of like a combat fighting knife. I was like, not really interested in doing that. So then I had this idea of kind of like a hunting knife and sort of a woodsman's knife. It's a drop point. All these are going to be full tang, and of course I've traced out the dimensions of my flat bar steel so the knife fits in it, so I can get a good idea. Plus I have extra material where I can do some other ideas I have. That's even if I get this far. Could just be a pipe dream. Don't know. Thought I'd share it though. Oh, that's the Sebenza type one. And I'm not doing it with the handle on there. This is how big the full tang would be, the handle itself. And at this point I was thinking about making it with removable scales. A little note from my wife. Just noticed that the other day, which is cool. Here are just a couple quick drawings of a possible straight razor I was going to make for myself. Kind of gave up on that for right now. I actually got some other steel for that. It's right, where is it? Oh, right here. It's probably about a 5-foot long piece of steel, end cut, which is awesome. There's a horrible picture. Started, failed, started. I was thinking about making a kitchen knife. Got a little bone style handle. Didn't like the way the blade looked. Gave up on that one. Here's another one. It's just some funky stuff I was just doodling. Almost like that one, but just not quite right. Then I got to here. I was thinking about making a little tiny knife. I was like, what would I ever use it for? Especially something that funky. And I came up with this. This is what you're looking at. All these notes are what I've taken on it. Just general thoughts on what I'm going to do with it. Let's see. That wavy line is the temper line. What else do we got here? A rounded spine. It's not going to have abrupt edges on it. I'm going to round off the spine. The Japanese character is the letter J in Japanese, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong, but it looks cool. Finishes. Scotch-Brite, polished, stone-washed, Duracoat or Cerakoted. Right here, see all those little hashes along the handle? This is my idea, thinking of having removable handles, is angled cuts. So if I take it off, I can use 550 cord and it's going to grab onto it a lot easier. It's not going to slip and slide. There you go. 1, 2, 3 big black holes there that you see before the scales. That would be solid metal on the outside with a flattened top so you can hammer with it. At this point I was thinking more of a woods knife. And then this big list of stuff is materials for scales. I want it to be waterproof. This is talking about scales here. Durable, removable, stain resistant. So I was thinking, what could I make these out of? Kydex, G10 nylon, ironwood, bamboo, rubber, like a harder rubber, not like a rubber tire rubber. Treated cedar, bone, I put it right there, tire rubber. Can't even read there. What is it? Oh, lava stone. I was thinking of doing that. And of course just a paracord wrap handle, which depending how it goes might go that way. So that's what it looks like right there. I really like the way the blade looks. It's very functional. It's not a fully flat top, but you could hammer with it, or baton is the cool way to say it. Here are some circles for the other piece of steel. I haven't come up with anything. Possible Kydex. I did a little cutout. Didn't like the way it turned out. It's a little too narrow, so I'm going to make everything wider on the blade. I don't like how narrow that is. And I think that was it. And the final iteration that I have of this. Is this it? No, that was like a shorter blade on that one, but this one right here, here it is. This is what I was thinking of doing. This is without scales. This is just the piece of metal after it's finished. Get a little closer on this here. All that stuff, what does it look like to you? I got this idea from Gavco. If I do this, I'd be totally ripping off Gavco. He had a great idea with it. He did it on a blade and it looked really sharp. This is acid etching, is what I'm thinking about doing. He called it the neuron design, because those look like neurons. And I thought so too, so I drew one up, and I kind of like the way it looks. Of course, that's just design idea. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Got the metal and everything, and I got pretty much all the tools I need to do it. Now it's just actually getting started with it. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions or ideas on how to make it easier, please let me know. So thank you very much for watching, guys. You have yourself a great weekend.